Nobody said a word when the rear end stepped out. The car snapped loose mid-corner. The wall was right there. And every single person watching held their breath because they all thought the same thing. Here we go again. Except it didn't happen. He caught it. And that one moment, that split second, just changed everything about how this story gets told from here. But to understand why that save hit the way it did, you have to go back, way back. Because this isn't just a story about a YouTuber trying to race. This is a story about a man who has been told no in ways that would have broken most people, and keeps showing up anyway. And now the most powerful team in NASCAR history just handed him a 2-year deal. And the legends of this sport are furious about it. Here's what nobody is putting together. Garrett Mitchell, 4.5 million subscribers, owns his own racetrack, built cars from scratch, raced them, filmed all of it. The man known as Cleetus McFarland didn't stumble into NASCAR. He clawed his way toward it for years, while everyone laughed. He started in ARCA in 2025 with Rhett Jones Racing. 5 starts, 2 top 10s, a 10th at Talladega, a 9th at Charlotte. Not perfect, but not nothing either. And then the one person who genuinely believed in him was gone. Greg Biffle, NASCAR legend. His mentor, his friend, the man who was quietly helping him map a path to the Daytona 500. Biffle died in a plane crash in December 2025, along with his family. Cleetus said their time together was some of the greatest moments of his entire life. Think about what that loss means for a second. The person guiding you, gone, just like that. And this is where most people stop fighting. This is where the dream quietly fades and the world moves on. But 2 months later, February 2026, Cleetus showed up at Rockingham Speedway for a NASCAR Truck Series qualification test. He needed to pass to get into Daytona. He crashed. NASCAR approved him anyway. And at Daytona, things got worse. 5 laps in, maybe 6, he lost the truck on his own. No contact, no racing incident, just lost it. Hit the inside wall, day over. 37th place, done. The NASCAR world came down on him hard. Denny Hamlin went on his podcast and said he knew before the race even started. Said Cleetus never looked in control, not even once. Freddie Kraft, Bubba Wallace's spotter, posted publicly, quote, "Crash at the Rockingham truck test, crash lap 5 of your only truck start. Good enough for me, approved." And then he made sure to add, he doesn't blame Cleetus. Anyone would jump at the chance. He blamed the system. That's not a small thing. A respected NASCAR insider calling out the approval process on social media. That landed, but nobody was ready for what came next. Days later, Richard Childress Racing, one of the most storied organizations in the history of this sport, the team that ran Dale Earnhardt, they announced a 2-year deal with Cleetus McFarland, 3 races per year in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Number 33, Tommy's Express Chevrolet. Alongside Jesse Love, the defending champion, and Austin Hill, his first race? April 4th, Rockingham, the very track where everything went wrong. The reaction was not what RCR probably hoped for. Mark Martin went straight at it. Said qualifying laps prove nothing. Said every driver Cleetus faces at Rockingham has a decade more experience. Said, and this is the quote that spread the whole thing, "Scares me to death." Kyle Busch, his own teammate through RCR, pointed out that his son Brexton has more career starts than Cleetus does. That one stung. Brad Keselowski said he'd rip the whole approval process apart and start from scratch. Said he doesn't blame Cleetus personally, but made clear he thinks the structure is broken. Kenny Wallace raised something darker. He said Cleetus could hurt somebody, not just himself, somebody else. He said Rockingham's dogleg demands throttle control that takes years to develop. Years. And Cleetus doesn't have those years. Ken Schrader said flat out he has no business being approved. Called it bull. then admitted he actually likes Cleetus's content, but still said it. Kyle Petty looked straight into the camera and said, "Don't come here if all you are is an internet sensation, because you've got no place on a racetrack with those guys." Tommy Baldwin from Rick Ware Racing said Cleetus doesn't even know the difference between a pro late model and a super late model. Said he's hurting himself by rushing. That is the wall of doubt this man walked into. And then he went to Rockingham and drove for 10 hours straight. 10 hours. 5 sets of tires. And when it was over, he posted, "Had the greatest day of racing in my entire life. Learned more in 10 hours than I could have imagined. We went through 5 sets of tires and there's not a scratch on my new car." But nobody was talking about what happened during hour 1 of the last tire run. 70 laps deep into that set, the grip was basically gone. Rubber scraped, track slick, and mid-corner the rear just went. Snapped loose, the wall came up fast. This is where it gets quiet. Because the last time he was at Rockingham in a race car, he didn't save it. He went into the wall, and NASCAR approved him anyway. And everyone from Hamlin to Martin to Busch to Schrader lined up to say the same thing. He's not ready. But he caught it. Kept the car off the wall. Kept going. 70 laps on worn tires, and he caught it. Fans lost their minds. One comment, "I can't lie, that's a solid save." Another said it was way better than overcorrecting and going head on. And someone pointed out the detail that matters most. Lap 70 on that set. No grip left, and he held it. That is not the same driver who spun into the wall at Daytona. But here's where it gets complicated. Because the fan reaction split right down the middle, and it got ugly. Reddit erupted. Half the comments called him a YouTuber with a check. The other half called those people miserable. One fan wrote, "So many miserable people in here upset about a dude excited to go racing. Some of you genuinely sound like this is ruining your life." Another said, "People are mad at him for doing what you're supposed to do to get into racing. Leverage your platform. Get the sponsorship. Get in the car." And maybe the most honest take of all, people in the comments are bitter. They'd be doing the exact same thing if they had the means. Cleetus went on the Dale Jr. download and addressed all of it directly. He said, "I think right now I'm the rookie and people can say whatever they want. But when I keep coming back every time and they realize their words don't affect me time and time again, they're going to run out of breath. Because as long as I'm having fun, I'm going to keep showing up at these NASCAR races." He talked about drag racing. Said when he first got into it, they called him the class clown. Said they all thought he was a joke. And look where that ended up. On top of all of it, he sold his personal powerboat. Used the money to buy a super late model. He's building it as a pro late model first, so the development happens the right way, step by step. And he owns his own track, so he can practice any day he wants. The O'Reilly series is on national TV now, on the CW. The ratings are massive. That's the real reason RCR made this move, and everyone knows it. More eyes, more tickets, more money flowing into a sport that desperately needs the attention. Brad Keselowski said it best without meaning to. Why would anyone not want to be part of that? So here's where it stands. April 4th, Rockingham Speedway. North Carolina Education Lottery, 250, 2:30 inches the afternoon on the CW. Cleetus McFarland makes his O'Reilly Series debut. And how he finishes decides whether he gets approved for Talladega. The man who crashed his truck at Daytona, who lost his mentor in a plane crash, who got called out by legends on podcasts and social media and live television, who drove 10 hours straight and saved a car on lap 70 of a dead set of tires. That man is back at Rockingham. The same track, different car, different team, and maybe a different story. But here's what I keep coming back to. every great NASCAR story has a moment where the doubters go quiet. Just for a second, just long enough for something unexpected to happen. That save at Rockingham might have been that moment. Or it might have been the last good thing that happened before it all falls apart on April 4th. Drop in the comments, do you think Cleetus has actually earned his spot? Or is this still just a platform play with a race car wrapped around it? Because I genuinely don't know anymore. And I think that's the point.